Enroll your child for the manifested e-learning platform and see their grades grow tremendously. These videos can be downloaded to a laptop for offline viewing or viewed from a smartphone in a course-friendly format.
Hello learner, welcome to our today's mathematics session. We are studying mathematics and I hope you are ready to learn. Make sure you have your pens, you have your exercise book and you have your textbook for mathematics. Today we want to continue from where we stopped. In our last lesson, we carried out divisibility tests for number 3. Today we want to look at the divisibility test for number 4 and the unit is numbers. We are on the unit known as numbers. We are studying this unit known as numbers and the subunit is divisibility tests. Divisibility tests and we are on number 4, divisibility test for number 4. Divisibility test for number 4. In our last lesson, we carried out divisibility test for number 3. And in standard 4, we carried out divisibility test for number 2, number 5, and number 10. Today is a day we are going to study how to carry out divisibility test for number 4. And I said in our last lesson, divisibility test is a shortcut that helps us know if a number, for example, is divisible by 4 without carrying out division, without dividing the number using the long method. Now, I want you to write down this sentence. A number, write down that a number is divisible. A number is divisible by 4 if the number formed, formed by the last 2 digits, is divisible by 4. A number is divisible by 4 if the number formed by the last 2 digits is divisible by 4. And let us try this out. Let's have an example here. Example. Is 516 divisible by 4? Question. Is 516 divisible by 4? We can answer that question by dividing 516 by 4. So 4 goes into 5 once. We write here 4. Then 5 minus 4 is 1. We bring down this 1 here. 4 goes into 11. 2 times 4. 8. Okay, 8. Then we subtract 11 minus 8 is equal to 3. 4 cannot go into 3, so we bring down this 6 here. 4 goes into 6 9 times, giving us here 36, and there is no remainder there. So we have answered the question. So the question is Is 516 divisible by 4? The answer is yes. 516 is divisible by 4 because you can see here we have divided. But we have just said you can tell if 516 is divisible by 4 by carrying out a simple test. A simple test. You have said you can look at the last 2 digits. You check the last 2 digits, these 2 digits. The number formed by, if the number formed by the last 2 digits is divisible by 4, then the whole of this number is divisible by 4. So the number formed by the last 2 digits here is 16. And we know 16 is divisible by 4. So instead of dividing, going through the long method, if you have a number like 516, then that number is, then you just check the last 2 digits. You just look at the last 2 digits and see if it's divisible by 4. So that is a test, a divisibility test for number 4. Divisibility test for number 4. Now learners, I want us to try another example here. Another example is example 2 is 363 divisible by 4. Is 363 divisible by 4? Let's try the long method first. Let's try the long method. It's the long method. 363 divided by 4. 4 goes into 36 9 times. Then here we have 36. Bring down this 3. Okay. 4 cannot go into 3, so we write 0 here. So you can see 4 goes into 363 divided by 4 is equal to 90 remainder 3. 90 remainder 3. So 363 is not divisible by 4. Now if you are to use our test, divisibility test, we have said if you want to know if 363 is divisible by 4, you look at the last 2 digits, the number formed. The number formed by the last 2 digits here is 63. The number formed by the last 2 digits is 63. So you can just divide this number and you can see this again is not divisible by 4. It's not divisible by 4. So if you want to tell a number if it's divisible by 4, you look at the last 2 digits. The last 2 digits. The number formed by the last 2 digits. So let's have more examples, learners. Let's have more examples. More examples. We are going to have more examples. Which of the following numbers are divisible by 4? I want you to write down these numbers. Examples. We are going to do examples. Which of the following numbers are divisible by 4? Which of the following numbers are divisible by 4? Question mark. A, 84. B, 104, C 362, D 554, E 396, F we have 780, F G 358. So let us try and answer these questions. Which of the following numbers are divisible by 4? Which of the following numbers are divisible by 4? So A, the first number is 84. How do you tell a number if it's divisible by 4? You check the the number formed by the last 2 digits. Here there are only 2 digits, and this 84 is divisible by 4 because 84 divided by 4 is equal to 21. It's equal to 21. 2 goes here 8 times, then 4 goes here once. So that one is divisible by 4. The next number is 104. B 104. The last 2 digits here, the last 2 digits are 0 and 4. 0 and 4. So the number formed by the last 2 digits is 4. And this 4 is divisible by 4 because 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. There is no remainder. So this number is divisible by 4. Then the next number is C 362. 362. The last 2 digits formed by this number are 62. These last 2 digits form the number 62. So is 62 divisible by 4? Is 62 divisible by 4? This 62, is it divisible by 4? 4 goes into 6 once, 4, 22, then 4 goes into 22 5 times, giving us 20. So its answer is 15, remainder 2. So this number is not divisible by 4. Is not divisible by 4. 362 is not divisible by 4 because the number formed by the last 2 digits is not divisible by 4. Then D is 554. 554. If you want to tell if 554 is divisible by 4, you look at the last 2 digits. The number formed by the last 2 digits is 54. So is this 54 divisible by 4? No, it is not. 54 is not divisible by 4 because here is 14, then we have 3 there, 12, remainder 2. There is a remainder here. So 554 is not divisible by 4. Is not divisible by 4. 554 is not divisible by 4 because the number formed by the last 2 digits, which is 54, is not divisible by 4. Then E 396. 396, the number formed by the last 2 digits here is 96. 96. So is 96 divisible by 4? 96 Is this divisible by 4? 4 goes into 9 2 times, then 8, remainder 1, 16, 4. Yes, 396 is divisible by 4. This one here, 396 is divisible by 4. We have tested. Then coming to F, 780. 780. Is 780 divisible by 4? How do we test? We look at the last 2 digits. The number formed by the last 2 digits here is 80. So is 80 divisible by 4? Yes, 80 is divisible by 4. And if 80 is divisible by 4, then 780 is divisible by 4. Is divisible by 4. Then G, 358. 358. Is 358 divisible by 4? We look at the last 2 digits. The number formed by the last 2 digits here is 58. The number here is 58. 58. So is 58 divisible by 4? We can try that. 58 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 once. Then you have 4 here. 18. 4 goes into 18 6 times. 16, remainder 2. There is a remainder here. Then that would mean that 58 is not divisible by 4. And if 58 is not divisible by 4, then 358 also is not divisible by 4. Is not divisible by 4. So if you want to tell a number, learners, if it's divisible by 4, you look at the last 2 digits, the number formed by the last 2 digits. Then you test that 2 digits, the 2 digits alone, the 2 digits alone. That is what we have been doing here. We only focused on these 2 digits. In the second case, we focused on these 2 digits. Then here we focused on these 2 digits. Here we also considered these 2 digits, the last 2 digits, the last 2 digits, the last 2 digits, the number formed by the last 2 digits. Here it's number 84. This one is number 4. The last 2 digits here is number 62. In D, the number is 54. In E, the number is 96. In F, the number formed by the last 2 digits is 80. And in G, the number formed by the last 2 digits is 58. So that is how you test for number 4. Number 4, we have said in our today's lesson that a number is divisible by 4 if the number formed by the last 2 digits is divisible by 4. You can have a long number, like say 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 6. You can have such a long number. Instead of dividing to see if this number is divisible by 4, you only look at the last 2 digits, these 2 digits. You only test for these 2 digits. So instead of dividing the whole of this number, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 6, instead of dividing it by 4, you only come and look at the last 2 digits. And you can see here the last 2 digits, the number formed by the last 2 digits is number 16. So you only test number 16, see if number 16 is divisible by 4. So 4 goes into 16 4 times. So you can see after testing with only the last 2 digits, you can now say 567,816 is divisible by 4. Is divisible by 4. So learners, I'll stop there for today so that I give you a chance to practice. I give you chance to practice. I want you to go and practice. Today's exercise is taken from the pupil's book. The pupil's book. I want you to go to the pupil's book. This is your book. Go to this book. Then on page 23, we are on page 23. I want you to go and do question 2. Maybe for some of you who do not have the book, let me write the exercise here. This is exercise. It is on page, this exercise is on page 23. Page 23, let me write it. Number 2 says, which of these numbers are divisible by 4? Which of these numbers are divisible by 4? Are divisible by 4. The first number is 234. The second one is 4118, followed by 1824. Then you have 23, 416. We have 28, 36. Then there is 1004. You have 5613, 9786. Then lastly 45631 So go and carry out divisibility tests for these numbers. Which of these numbers are divisible by 4? And just to remind you, you will be considering the last 2 digits. Check the number formed by the last 2 digits, then see if the number is divisible by 4. Thank you, learners, for being attentive in our today's lesson. I hope you will do the assignment. Make sure before you come to the next class, this assignment is done. And if you have any problem answering these questions, you can send your question to us so that we can help you answer your questions. Bye-bye.
Manifested Publishers Limited is a research and teaching center that specializes in the production of learning materials and private online tuition for primary, secondary, tertiary, and university education. Sign up as a new customer at www.manifested